All That Heaven Allows. The satirical and touching Hallmark film of Douglas SIrk still manages to elicit emotional responses after 50 years of cinema history. A simple story of an older widow falling in love with a younger tree enthusiast, despite the backlash and hostility from upper-class society. The film pushes its technicolor boundaries as far as they can go, allowing for it to carry the themes and character burden that is ever present throughout the entire film. However, this isn't the only noteworthy achievement of the film, but rather the directing, costume, and color palette is all worthy of discussion. The most persistent reinforcement of ideas is suggested through the various and manifold examples of clothing. The widow Miss Carrie is omnipresently brandished in a series of blue outfits. Her car is blue, and even her house is washed in a blue tinge. Carrie's house is vacuum sealed, sterile, stagnant. Hallmarks of past recollections line the walls and rooms. However, the outwardly rugged Ron is always present in a red manner, from his clothing to his cars and his own possession. These items play as gender norms, or the passion present in the relationship, Carrie being a docile, conservative housewife, in contrast to Ron's passionate hue of freedom. Although these roles are not situated in unflappable certainty, but rather shift as allegiance's love and plot demand it. From the beginning, Carrie is only presented in blue. Once she's shown in red with another male, Harvey, she is uncomfortable, interrogated. Conclusively, the color isn't appropriate for the time. Love and passion haven't found a home yet. Even when they are shown together, it is from a high, judgmental angle, further asserting the unknown certainty of post-marriage courtship. Regardless of the age and class discrepancy found in these early scenes, the movie utilizes derision and age gap in various ways. Besides this instance, Carrie is very rarely, if ever, shown in the same frame with her children. Separate shots or pans to them as they assert their own points and lives. Another idea that foreshadows the duality, struggle, and ultimate love is shown early in the film. Carrie's room is dark and dingy. An old, outdated mode of light, her fireplace, failed to lighten up and solve her widow woes. When her daughter arrives, she deliberately turns on a new lamp, fueled by electricity, then displays herself on the bed. A subtle show of hand, showing the new, Ron, invading her bed, lighting her life, and ultimately the love they show. Nevertheless, these colors change according to the advancement of the plot. They previously meet a couple who, in their words, abandoned the philosophical notion of keeping up with the Joneses. Their gender norms and colors are switched. She wears the red skirt and he wears the blue shirt. They themselves have transcended societal expectations. This is further emphasized later in the film when Ron and Carrie meet after they agree to marry. More comfortable in the relationship, Carrie is seen wearing a dark red shirt. Ron, on the other hand, sports a blue tie. The gender norms are now rearranged. However, the color that Carrie chooses is not a very vivacious tone of red, showing the uncertainty and unpleasantness shown to follow. Even after they break up due to societal pressure, Ron is seen at all times wearing the blue scarf, a literal reminder of the life he previously had and would have had with Carrie. Another noteworthy scene in regards to clothing and color is when she asserts the decision to break up with her. She is looking forlornly out of the window. The dress she wears the same exact pattern and color of the red shirt Ron had worn when they first met. Only when she's certain of her decision she has extracted out of herself does she don the red, hence why in the end, where she wears a pure blue outfit, it does not suggest a happy ending, but rather an ending she is uncertain of, but willing to work towards it. Mirrors, reflections, and windows play another pertinent position inside the film. They are the outward look of what Carrie should be in civilization, what they expect out of her, and how she can satisfy these goals. In particular, the pestering and constant hassle from those around her to find herself a TV is a constant reminder of what a normal life should be. The networks at the time populated with the follies and tribulations of the standard Caucasian upper-middle-class nuclear family. This modern technology, ironically, is archaic and destructive. The life she lives in Ron's house, made from an old abandoned mill, is devoid of technology and modern society, does not have a TV, and wild animal life is bountiful. Hence why in the end, the final image she sees out of the window is not of herself or others, but a wild and free animal, a life that can be lived without expectations. All That Heaven Allows is a welcoming societal commentary of old Hollywood's love story. Still not as revolutionary as conversation-inducing as Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, it still manages to be a solid piece of cinema from its lush visuals, great acting, and interesting character decisions. One last thing to note, it was fascinating and overall refreshing to see how they did not give a long-winded exposition and build-up as to why they found love, but rather small, tender scenes, which made it seem slightly more real.